I'm Daniel Berlant in the Cal Fire Information Center with the fire situation report for Monday, August 31st, 2020. Firefighters are continuing to make progress on all of the fires. In fact, 2 of the major fires we've been battling over the last 2 weeks have now been contained. That brings the number of large and major wildfires down from nearly 24 to 18. Still a lot of work ahead, but containment numbers are increasing. Let's jump right into it and talk about some of those efforts. First, let's start with some of the big complexes. First, the LNU Lightning Complex has now burned over 375,000 acres. No growth in the past 24 hours. So that is the good news. Now, there still may be a lot of smoke and hot spots and even some area inside the perimeter that still remains burning. However, this fire now 63% containment. That's up 7% from this time yesterday. So good progress being there. A number of evacuations also being lifted on both the Walbridge fire in Sonoma County as well as some of the various areas of the main section of the LNU Lightning Complex. Over in the East Bay, the SCU Lightning Complex is burned now up to 383,000 acres. It still remains the largest of the complexes. It is now 60% contained. That's an increase in 10% since yesterday. So you can see good progress there. As well, some evacuations yesterday downgraded to just warnings. And then over in the CZU Lightning Complex, this fire has burned 84,000 acres. A little bit of growth yesterday, about 200 acres or so, but containment up 4% on this fire. That brings the total for this fire up to 39% containment. So good progress there. A number of evacuations downgraded for the Ben Lomond area as well as the Felton area yesterday. So again, as progress is made, a number of evacuations have been lifted. We'll do a couple other highlights of some of the other major fires down in Monterey County, south of Salinas. This is the River Fire, just over 48,000 acres, no growth in size in the past 24 hours. Containment up, though, 8% in the past 24 hours, bringing it to 95% contained. And then the little fire down below here, 6,900 acres, is the Carmel Fire. It is 97% contained, so very, very close. Now, overnight crews were able to contain 2 of the major fires as I mentioned. Those include the Johnson Fire down in Los Angeles County, north of Santa Clarita. That fire was contained at 290 acres. And then up in Tuolumne County, near the community of Moccasin, the Mock Fire contained at about 2,800 acres. So those 2 fires now fully contained. Let's talk about some of the most northern of the fires and where they are. Specifically up in Plumas County, just south of Susanville, as well as near Quincy. The U.S. Forest Service reports that the North Complex has continued to grow in size. It grew an additional 4,500 acres overnight. So still some growth there. Some of the other lightning complexes, this is the BTU Tehama Glen lightning complex, specifically the Butte Zone series of fires. No growth overnight, and those fires 0% contained to about just under 2,800 acres in total. These fires now 75% contained. And then if we go just west of Red Bluff, we have the Tehama Zone of the Butte TGU, or the BTU TGU Lightning Complex. Did see a little bit of growth there, about 575 acres, but it is now 3% contained, additional 3% contained, about 5,800 acres now, 40% contained. And then a lot of these fires are also as part of the August complex, which is battled by the U.S. Forest Service. A lot of these fires we're not covering, many of them burning in the National Forest. So if you want the latest from the Forest Service on the fires that they're battling, we do have links on our website. You can see the Sheep Fire, which is in Plumas County, is a federal fire. The Hostler Fire down in Ventura. Again, a lot of these fires, especially down here at the bottom, you can see not a CAL FIRE incident. That's because these are being managed by the U.S. Forest Service. So we're not giving out information on their fires. For the latest, you can just click on them. They'll have a link there, and that will take you straight to their pages. and you'll be able to get the latest information from the U.S. Forest Service on their incident page called InsaWeb. So again, overall, good progress today. Still over 16,000 firefighters on the front lines of these various fires. Again, 18 major complexes. In total, 1.46 million acres have burned in all of these lightning complex fires that have been burning since August 15th. So again, a large number. Now, let's talk about this year's fire season compared to last year. So since January 1st to date, CAL FIRE, the Forest Service, and our federal partners, wildland partners, have responded to over 7,300 wildfires. In total, those fires have burnt over 1.7 million acres. So a huge amount of acres burned this year. Now let's compare this year to last year for the same time period, January 1st through the end of August. In last year at this time, we had roughly 4,600 wildfires that had burned only 63,000 acres. So a significant increase in not just the number of fires to date, but also in the acres burned. And historically, it's September and October when California experiences its largest and most damaging wildfires. So what can we expect for this last day of August? Well, we still have a red flag warning in effect through this morning up in Del Norte, as well as parts of Humboldt County. You can see this is along the Six Rivers National Forest, and just to the north of Eureka. Red flag warning in place for gusty winds and low humidity. So if you live up there, please be extra cautious. Here's the idea of this week's forecast. You can see it's slowly going to start heating up. Not too bad, though. Still going to hit triple digits up in Redding, triple digits Chico, Marysville, even going to get into the triple digits in the Sacramento region. But you can see we will start to see that warming trend that we've been experiencing over the last couple of days continue as the week goes on. Here's an idea of today's wind gust. We do have some areas. Look up here in Eureka. We could see gusts of 20 to 25 miles an hour. Same, even up to 30 miles an hour in portions of the Sacramento Valley south of Redding, up in the northeastern portion of California. So there could be a little bit of gusty winds today. So if you are going to be outdoors, take some extra precaution. You don't want this wind to fan any type of flame or spark that could cause a wildfire and let it spread. Here's an idea of what to expect this week. Smoky and hot. That is going to be the continued theme for this week. Here's an idea of this week's temperatures in Sacramento and Redding. These are from our friends over at the National Weather Service. But it is this that we want to talk about going into our Labor Day holiday. We are going to see some high heat risks. Look at that. From high risk throughout much of Northern California, stretching all the way from Redding down through the Sacramento Valley, down into Modesto. Even areas along the coast will be at lower risk, but you can see here parts of Sonoma County, even parts of Mendocino County will be in the moderate. So red being high risk, orange moderate risk, and low is yellow. So make sure that for this time of year we are going to see higher temperatures, especially for the general population, with little overnight cooling. So it's very important to take the precautions, including staying cool and hydrated indoors as much as possible. So what can you do right now? As we are making progress with fire season with no end in sight, it's very important that you're doing your part to ensure that you're prepared. And how better to do that than to create a wildfire action plan? This is our website, readyforwildfire.org. If you go to the plan section, you can get access to our new web-based app and even create your own custom wildfire preparedness action plan. Click the Check It Out page. It will bring you to this website where you can find out what's happening in your area. But what I want to talk about is the Wildfire Readiness Guide. If you click there, you can get access to how to create a wildfire action plan, all the steps, including checklists that you need to have, family communications plan, all the steps to be prepared, all right here. Make sure you're spending that time to create your wildfire action plan today, so when a wildfire breaks out, you are prepared. Well, that's the latest on the fire situation in California. I'm Daniel Brullant. Have a fire safe day.